So mindful meditation is one of the big buzzwords in our culture at this point. It's really become very mainstream to talk about mindfulness and mindful meditation. It is just one of the several programs that I've created. And my particular approach to it is probably a bit different than a lot of what you find in these recordings or in guided meditations towards mindfulness. And the reason that mine is different is because I take into account right from the beginning a lot of different aspects of consciousness and ask you to be in an open awareness of those things. And from your body to your feelings to your mental processes to the process of awareness itself. And this is something that is the eventual goal of a lot of mindful meditations, but most of them confine themselves either to just simply watching your breath or to doing some sort of body scan or some sort of noting and have it just be sort of scattershot, whereas I really kind of get you to be fully aware of the whole totality of your consciousness stream from the beginning. And this meditation in a more freeform way is actually fairly related to my cosmic consciousness level 5 New Hermetics adept exercise. However, this is very much just focusing on consciousness itself. This idea of mindfulness and mindful meditation, you find a bunch of different Buddhist practices that relate to this, from Vipassana to Zen Buddhism to more specific practices like Satipatthana or Anapanasati, which is mindfulness of breathing. And there are a lot of different sort of variations within there. Like I said, some meditations teachers suggest scanning your body up and down. Some suggest just sort of being open to what comes up and making a note of it. And I'm more interested in you noting that none of these things that are going on in your consciousness is actually you. It's just stuff that's happening. And in this way, it's somewhat more related to the self-inquiry practices of another one of my recordings, but it focuses more on the immediacy of bodily sensations. This is the most sort of open-ended of all of the meditations in this series, and so in many ways it's the most flexible, but it's also the easiest to kind of get distracted, and so you really kind of need to hang your awareness on something, and that awareness of what's happening in your body is probably the place that I recommend focusing the most, with the other stuff as it comes up becoming a part of your awareness. And so that's a feeling oriented approach to things. And I always suggest that you have 3 senses going on as much as possible at all times. So with the auditory aspect in particular becomes a bit more challenging. And one of the ways that I've explored it is just simply counting breaths in the same way that you would with any other sort of mindfulness of breathing exercise, or simply with each breath saying something about, awareness or openness or, consciousness or my body, any of those sorts of things, not as a mantra really, but just sort of as a statement of where intention and focus is staying. Visually, it's fairly easy to just sort of be visually present. The main thing that you don't want to do is sort of make up something visually in your mind, but if you have your eyes closed and you're conscious of your body, there's a visual component to that impression, and if you just allow yourself to be in that along with the feeling and whatever it is that you're doing auditorially, that's perfectly fine. The other thing that you can do auditorially if you want to is a mantra, but there are some teachers who think that it's perfectly okay to do a mantra in this particular style of meditation, and there's some that don't, and I don't really see the reason not to. other than the fact that you don't really want to get carried away by that. You do want to be present. And so if the mantra is something that keeps you present within your body, then that's fine. Other than that, it's just really a matter of maintaining an open awareness of what is going on and seeing if you can deepen that that understanding of things, and seeing, I mean, because the reason that I don't really like the labeling aspect of things is because what you're really wanting to do is see through what's happening. So if you're spending a lot of time sorting out what is happening, you're going to be spending a lot less time seeing through. So as much as possible, if you can just be completely open to what you are and what's going on without having to think about it all that much, the more you're going to find yourself getting deep and getting some profound insights into consciousness itself.